is Jesseline Ilimino, and these are my recordings. First, the throng of Thuringian Thermometers. The throng of thermometers from the Thuringian Thermometer box arrived Thursday. There were 1,033 thick thermometers, though instead of 1,036 thin thermometers, which was 3 thermometers fewer than the 1,036 we were expecting, not to mention that they were thick ones rather than the thin ones. We thoroughly thought that we had ordered 1,036, not 1,033 thermometers, and asked the Thuringian Thermometer box to reship the 3 thermometers rather than 1,036, and promised to replace the thick thermometers with thin thermometers. Second recordings. A surly sergeant. A surly sergeant sucked on insolent sailor Sam. A surly sergeant from Sesco, Texas, saw a sailor sit silently on a small seat reserved for a youngster. He stayed for several minutes while thoughts swarmed around. Sam asked the sailor to cease and desist, but he sneered in his face. Sam was so incensed that he considered it sufficient incentive to sack the sailor. The sailor stood there for a second, astonished, and then strolled away. Sam was perplexed but satisfied, and the thoughts scampered like ants over to the seesaw. The third recording. All's well that ends well. A lazy Thursday at the zoo found the zebras grazing, posing for pictures, and teasing the zookeeper, whose nose was bronzed by the sun. The biggest zebra's name was Zachary, but his friends called him Zack. Zack was a confusing zebra whose zeal for reason caused his cousins, who were naturally unreasoning, to pause in their conversation, while they browsed, he philosophized, and they grazed, he practiced zen. Because they were Zack's cousins, the zebra did nothing but they wished he would muzzle himself at times. My fourth recording. The thin Mang. A fashionably tanned man sat casually at the bat stand, lashing a handful of practical bats. The manager, a crabby old bag of bones, passed by and laughed. "You're about average, Jack. Can't you lash faster than that?" Jack had had enough, so he clambered to his feet and lashed bats faster than any man had ever lashed bats. As a matter of fact, he lashed bats so fast that he seemed to dance. The manager was aghast. "Jack, you're a master bat slasher," he gasped. Satisfied at last, Jack sat back and never lashed another bat. And this is my last recordings. A lot of long, hot walks in the garden. Jen was so sorry when the boss called off the walks in the garden. Obviously, to him, it was awfully hot, and the walks were far too long. He had not thought that walking would have caught on the way it did, and he fought the fallacy from the onset. At first, he thought he could talk it over at the law office and have it quashed, but a small optical hawk that thought the top lawyers always bought coffee at the shop across the lawn, and they didn't want to stop on John's account. John's problem was not office politics, but office policy. He resolved the problem by bombing the garden. The next recording will be tongue twister. Peter Piper picked a pack of pickled pepper. Did Peter Piper pick a pack of pickled pepper? If Peter Piper picked a pack of pickled peppers, where's the pack of pickled pepper Peter Piper picked? She sells seashells by the seashores. The shells she sells are surely seashells. So if the shells sells on the seashores, I'm sure the shell seashore sails. I thought, but the thought I thought wasn't the thought I thought. I thought if the thought I thought had been the thought I thought, I wouldn't have thought so much.
Well, it's on my mind, I'm letting